Hi, guys. No.
Big stretch.
Big stretch. This podcast is part of the You Run Podcast Network, where you can find all sorts of fun and amazing shows like ours. If you're into true crime, movie reviews, horror in general, this is the network to check out. So make sure you check them out. They are noted in our show notes below. With that being said,
Thank you, You Run.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks.
With that being said, welcome to the Paranormal Misfits podcast, where the curious roam, the weird feels at home, and horror is just another day in the office. And I am one half of your dazzling duo, Chrissy.
Oh, wow. I don't know fractions or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure two halves make an asshole. You know what I mean? My name is Nino Daniel, the one and only You'll Never Be Lonely. Call for a good time when you want me. 1-800. No, I'm kidding.
New ad.
Big shout out to You Run Podcast. Yeah, new ad. Big shout out to You Run Podcast Network. Big shout out to Chrissy for giving me an opportunity to continually be a co-host. And also, at the time of this recording, it is the season 2 premiere day. Bitches. Oh my God. I'm gonna be in your ear. We're gonna be on your screen. You're gonna hear Chrissy breathing in your freaking canal. I was gonna say fallopian tubes. And I was like,
oh no,
wrong.
No.
No, your ears have canals, right? Mm-hmm. Like Panama, right? Okay. That was a good joke. Damn it. Okay, bitch, the fuck? Anyways.
I'm talking about the canal part.
Oh, that was a good joke.
It was a good joke.
God, listen, I know I'm Middle Eastern. I may not be able to land a plane, but shit.
Okay.
God. Okay, so today, I wanted to thank my friend Chase on Twitter. It will never be called X, Elon. I just want to... The only time I'll ever call an X is I won't, because we're done with the past. Yes. Do you know what I mean? So it'll always be called Twitter. But my friend Chase on Twitter, he had made mention that he was going to go see Smile 2. And I immediately responded with, oh, I'm so jealous of people who get to go see this for their first time. And he goes, I know, me too. And by no means was that a pass at him. And he knows that he's smart. But I wanted to take a moment today and talk about the excitement of going back and thinking about some of those haunts, some of those attractions, some of those horror films that we know and love, watching them for the first time, because I truly am, in my heart of hearts, you guys already know I'm a God-fearing hood rat, okay? But I'm also like inadvertently jealous of people who get to do things that I've loved doing for their first time.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Like, you ever, when someone's like, oh, I just saw this movie, or I just went to this haunt, I'm like, what was it like?
Tell me, please.
I went 13 times. Like, what was it like? Do you ever have anything like that?
I do. I have them with certain movies. So, like, in my lovely high school days, a lot of the scary movies I didn't watch in theaters. I actually got to watch them at home. Nice big surround sound.
VHS. Mm-hmm.
However, my dad also loved to make sure that I knew I was watching a horror movie, because he would wait for inopportune times to grab you or to like shake you or something. So like one of the main ones that I love, that I'll never get to experience it again, but I loved it all the same, was a movie called The Order. And it was about sin eaters, and it had Heath Ledger, and it had a couple of the people from the cast from A Knight's Tale, which huge fan of that time period of movies.
Heath was in that, yeah?
Heath, the princess, was in The Order as well, and the heavier set guy, I'm really bad about actors' names. Those three for sure were all in the movie together. But it was also raining. So like it's also one of those things that like you can never recreate the perfect storm that you had going on to make it that much more enjoyable. So like we had this huge big screen. My dad put in surround sound. Saturday night, done with school for the week, you know, and I got like my best friend over, and we're watching, and we're really into it. Like really into it. I don't pay attention to anything else around me whenever I'm into something. So it gets to a part, and it's raining in the movie too, and it's raining at our house, and like the lightning crashes in the movie, and then our power goes out.
I would I would literally lose my virginity.
Like, our power went out, and I was like, "Oh my," it
No,
was
no,
the
no.
freakiest thing ever. But it made me love that movie so much more because of that suspense that it built up, and then, like, all of the things all around me happen, and I still love watching that movie. Like, it's the movie. Same thing for Skeleton Key.
Okay, so that ending, I
I
will always applaud an ending where I'm like, fucking shit.
Right?
That ending, I was like, I'm never touching salt or a brick or a mirror.
Or
And yet, this is coming from the man whose favorite style of home architecturally is one of them plantation homes. I don't know what that says about me.
mine are more
I
of the
was like,
Spanish styles with, like, the
it
lovely
just looks
yeah.
good. Like the columns and stuff like that. I'm not trying to listen, edit that part out.
Okay.
Don't, because I'm gonna take ownership. But Skeleton Key, that is Kate Hudson.
Mhm.
Right. Oh my gosh. What did you think of that ending when you
You
watched it for
couldn't
the first
call
time?
it. And it
At
ended
all.
perfectly, right? Because there's no good and there's no, like, positive ending to it aside from those
Mhm.
who were done dirty got their justice and are still continuing to rampage, which is great.
Mhm.
Like, take your shit, man.
How old is the movie now? At least over
Early
15 years.
2000s, like, at least what that was released in two ooh, actually, that might have been a little bit older than that. Hold on.
At least it's at least 15 years old. Well, you look that up. One of my and this is how I know that movie has stuck with me for 15 plus years. One of my favorite lines happened towards the end of the movie where she builds that circle
Mhm.
and she goes, "Oh, that circle don't stop me from getting in.
Yes.
It stops you from getting out."
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Bitch, you done fucked up the
Yes.
spell book.
Yes.
You a dumbass bitch."
It's 20 years old.
Jesus Mary.
Yeah.
Okay. Bruh.
Bruh.
20, what is that, 2005?
Mhm.
I was a wee little tot getting made fun of for being gay in high school.
Oh.
Ah, memories. I wish, honestly, with the amount of times people called me Nemo, I wish I had Dory's memory and could forget all that. But fuck that, I guess.
Oh.
That is a good thing to bring up, though. The skeleton key, not
Mhm.
the bullying. I mean, sometimes I feel like bring back bullying. Let's see what we do with it in 2025. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Anyways, so that skeleton key is a good starter. I wanna draw your attention to also one of my favorite movies of all time. If now officially this movie and The Substance, which I'll get into The Substance. I'll save that one for a little after. My favorite horror movie prior to The Substance being released was High Tension. It was a
Oh.
French foreign film. And it had to do with like this like psychosis split personality thing. And it's these two girls who go and spend like a holiday away from school at one of the girls' like houses in the French countryside, and the movie opens up with I don't even know how the fuck the movie opens up with I can't remember if it was like a thought or if it was actually real, but like if you've not seen this movie at this point, I'm spoiling it. The more masculine short-haired girl has this like split personality where sometimes she assumes the role of a butch male trucker guy who is like wanting to kill everything that stands in the way of people that he loves or she
Yeah.
loves. The movie opens up with like someone's beheaded head, like giving head to the man.
Oh.
And then he like gets to completion, tosses the head out the window and continues driving.
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, okay, we have set the tone."
Right?
And I remember there was a part of this. I was watching this movie with my friend. I think the first time I saw this movie was with my friend Arcelia,
Mhm.
and this was like in high school. And I remember there was a part where I like stood up and I was watching the movie standing up, and I'm like, "Oh, this is good shit. Oh, this is good shit."
Uh-huh.
And then it gets no like only the girl whose parents, whose like house they went to, knows what's going on, and like she's not understanding why the blonde girl isn't fucking getting it. And you don't know either, because the entire time the movie's going, you think that there's this random fucking killer on the loose, like hunting these girls.
Yeah.
And you're like, how the fuck do they keep... You get to the ending and you find out that the blonde short-haired girl has been like manifesting this like killer the entire time.
Oh God.
Could not call that ending
Uh-huh.
a mile and a half away.
Wow. I still haven't watched it.
Oh my God, it's like one of the best. I wish I would have seen it in theaters. I saw the trailer for it. The cover poster is literally like the blonde short-haired chick in like a nice like fitted shirt, blood everywhere. She's got a chainsaw.
Oh.
I was like, oh, this is hot. Like, this is a real good cover.
Right? Oh man.
That was one of the moments where I'm like, oh, this is, you guessed it, folks, this is cinema.
The French know how to put on some movies.
Yeah, Coralie Farge. I just realized after you literally just said that, and I was like, yeah, why are my two favorite horror movies of all time from the French?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, okay? Because it gets so scary, I even eventually have to wee, you know?
Do you have another movie like that aside from The Substance and High Tension?
I want to get to The Substance at the end, but if I could also call out, like, I wish I could see Smile 2 for the first time. Have you seen it yet?
My daughter has. She watched it.
I'm not asking about your daughter, Christy.
I haven't yet. I've been trying to catch up on everything else.
Paramount.
I'm trying to catch up on everything else. I have a list, man. I have a list.
Hey, on that list, make sure you check the show notes to purchase the merch.
Yeah, right.
And make sure you give us a 5-star review. It's free to subscribe or like our stuff. And if you hear any noise in the background, my cat is being a demon. What about you? Oh, sorry.
No. I was going to say both our cats are doing that because I've locked mine out of the room. He was on dating.
Help! My pussy's going crazy. Quote that movie.
Quote that movie. Scary Movie 2. Anna Faris.
Oh, I cannot wait we're getting Scream 7 and Scary Movie 6 5 months apart.
That's insane.
Next year. And rumor on the treadmill is that Scream 8 is already greenlit and begins filming in like April.
Oh wow.
They're back to backing it. And I was like, oh fuck yeah. Because if you remember the first and second one, I think they came out sometime apart, but not too much.
I think like a year, it feels like.
I think the first one was 96, right?
I think so.
I think the second one was 99, and then I think the third one was 2001.
Okay.
But anywho, what about not necessarily movies, but what about, unless you have another movie?
I don't have another movie, but I would want to, for the first time ever. Granted, I know they do different themes every year.
Yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights. The year I went was Carnival of Carnage. So you had like clowns running up everywhere. You had people on stilts, like seeing those costumes for the first time like that.
What is my ex doing there? Jesus.
All of them. But like just being able to go back through that environment again. Mm-hmm. And especially whenever we still had the Jaws ride too, like that was still up and running. Loved it. Especially also since it was, I think I was 21 at the time. So experiencing that as a 21-year-old. Yeah.
Have you ever done okay, let me ask you this. How old were you when you got if you've gotten a tarot card reading, how old were you?
I did my own starting in high school.
Bruh, not this bitch fucking playing Go Fish with herself.
All the time. I have a stack. They're over here.
If you guys don't know this, Chrissy and I actually often get on Zoom and
we decide to go on the astral plane.
We get our own deck of cards and we're like, you know what? Let's just play Go Fish together. Got any sixes? Probably. So you were in high school. What about like when did anyone else ever in your life give you a tarot card reading.
No.
I don't know why my voice just.
No. Mainly because I don't trust other people with that. I know it's weird, but
I get it.
certain people don't
get it.
like card meanings. Everyone's got a different interpretation. Some people want to be more dramatic than others, and
Oh yeah.
yeah. Now I have done when The Craft was a poppin' movie
Oh, with Nev.
with Nev. We did do those like late night bored as hell things, and the same things they did in the movie,
Light as
like
a
Feather
feather,
Stiff as a board and all
stiff as
that
a
shit.
board. Fuck yeah.
Never saw it happen though.
I think with those things, like people who went back and did them, it's more of like the feeling of it happening. Because, listen, I hate to be the one to break it to people. If I'm doing light as a feather, stiff as a board, right, and I'm the person like trying to lift someone up, and I open my fucking eyes, and my friend is Wingardium Leviosa, I'm canceling my subscription to life.
You're like, I'm pushing the bitch back down.
I'm like, get the fuck down before they start charging you airfare prices, bitch. Get the fuck down. We've never done who the fuck am I kidding? Of course I have. I think if I could go back and experience what was it that I had a really good time? That 13th floor haunted attraction. I was like in my early 20s when I went for the first time. I think I was like fresh in community college, and I was like, I'm so scared. And then my immediate default to any time I'm scared is to be funny, which must mean I'm funny, which must also mean I'm scared all the time. Wait. So I remember going for the first time, and I was like, what is a way I'm going to get these bitches the fuck off of me? Because I found out they like communicate with each other. They're like, I don't know if it's mics. I don't know if they have in-ears. I don't know. But bro, I was like, okay, if they come up to me, try to be their friend, try to start conversation, try to just like look like you're not afraid. And I'm, bitch, they be fucking walking up to me and I'm like, hey, yo, what's up? What y'all doing? Yeah, you look good, huh? Yeah, you scared, huh? Yeah, you look real scary. You look real freaking frightful, dumbass bitch. And then I would very quickly be like, oh, I tinkled. That's a moment that I wish I could go back and experience for my first time, just because that night was so good. It was like, I was like, this is fun. Horror is really fun. And we're not even watching the tape of my birth when I was C-sected. Like, this is just insanity. That's one of those moments where I'm like, a haunted attraction. What do you have any what about Spookala? What about things in St. Augustine? What about like any things like that?
There's a few things. So like I was just thinking about that. St. Augustine did use their old old Spanish hospital as a haunted attraction. I'm sorry.
Was this a working hospital prior to?
During the Spanish Inquisition it was, but not.
Okay, so at some point this was a working hospital.
But it was only like 3 rooms big, so that tells you anything.
Bruh.
It's not. It didn't make me scared. Like, you know, internally you're hyping it up in your brain. You walk in and then you're just like, oh my God. And I couldn't stop laughing because they were reenacting a girl as if she were in the exorcism, and I just died. I laughed way too hard, and they left me alone. I was like, what the fuck is this? I would experience that again just because it was so funny. But if we're going to what would I experience for the first time as an enjoyable experience, it would be doing my first ever ghost tour where they took me into Ripley's late at night with all the lights off. Ripley's here in St. Augustine used to be a hotel. So it's 2 stories tall. And rumor is that during one of the years as its operation as a hotel, it caught fire. A floor caught fire, and 2 women died in the same exact position at separate separate ends, basically.
It's giving Final Destination.
It is, isn't it? Which, by the way, saw the trailer for that. Never want to fucking Septum Pearson ever in my life.
Hey, so the next type of tattoo I'm getting in my life is gonna be fucking henna. Like, after watching the Bloodlines trailer, y'all bitches got me.
Just like, oh, new trauma.
Y'all bitches got me. I'm not, listen, the whole new meaning to grab life by the horns.
Ooh.
All right. Go ahead though. Something about two bitches dying in the same position in opposite places.
So they're said to haunt the place, and the thing is when you're going up and they're telling you the stories. One, the stairwell's like about that wide, right? So you better not be too husky to go up and down these.
Oh, so you've got to be teensy weensy.
Very steep stairs that are small, so you got to pay attention. So you're already over analyzing everything because you just don't want to fall down the fucking stairs.
You got to walk sideways almost, huh?
Yeah, it's single file line, guys.
The thing where they send 5 people to go down, stop, send 5 people up. Yep.
They take you past that area, and they still let that area make like its little crackling wood noises, like a fire's actually happening, and like it's wild. And then they have a theater, and the theater's big. It's got the old seats that you used to see in like old high schools in their auditoriums.
Okay, yeah.
Those real uncomfortable seats where you couldn't be too wide there either. Couldn't be.
Was it the wooden, or did they have some padding?
No padding.
Oh god, the hemorrhoids in that. God, fuck.
So that's dark. The screen's down, and they're telling you that it's haunted by, I don't remember who it's haunted by, but there's some spirits in there, some haunting. Well, the other part is when you go through this area, it takes you to like the medieval torture devices and stuff, and like stuff like that. So like on the other end, you're hearing like creaking noises because they remade an Iron Maiden that opens up real slow and then closes real, and it's just like it was, the whole thing was a work of true fear. But now that I've been on it at least 3 times, because people are like, I want to do that one, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go with you. I know the whole thing, so like I lose it. Same for the old jail, old St. Augustine jail, and mind you, I was pregnant at the time the first time I went into this, so it was part of a tour. And they take you into the old jail at night. And this is why I hate mannequins. I hate mannequins for this fucking reason, because they leave them in the jail cells. And they don't turn obviously they're not going to turn the lights on for these things. So you just see things staring back at you, and I'm like, okay, so that's recreating the feeling of being watched. But like, oh my god. And as a pregnant chick, I was just like, if I have my baby right here, what are y'all going to do? What the fuck are y'all gonna do for me?
Certainly not use the hospital to help. Right? Like, the fuck.
But I think ghosts, if you've never been on a ghost tour, I think they're really fun, especially the first time. And if you get to go do like different ones around different haunted areas, I think they're really cool. St. Augustine hasn't really stepped up their game much anymore. You have the usuals. Ray and I did one where they were like, we're going to take you into the haunted location. Like, everything says they're going to take you into a haunted location, but we did one where they actually drove us around. The issue is some of them now, like, they take you into areas that are still populated by people, like as an active location. So like one of them was an apartment above a bar, and they're like, go do the, use the EMF meters and stuff. And that's not useful because it's going to catch all of the electricity that's coming from downstairs. So like, what kind of sense is that? But it's more of a marketing scheme now. I want to see some. I want to do some better ones. Like
when I go to a haunted, like I want to be like, I want to shake hands with the fucking ghost. I want to be like, hey yo, you good?
You haven't left yet.
You haven't left yet?
Do you know Britney Spears? What era ghost are you? Are you the 90s?
Yeah, what era ghost are you? When I look at you and I say like, oops, I did it again. Finish line. Like that's what I would.
What? What'd you say?
What you say? Anyways, sorry, I had to. Jason Derulo. Friends, we are gonna be right back We're going to take a quick little break. Just remember, though, while we're away, you can still play by clicking the show notes, perching the merching. Make sure to give us 5 stars on wherever you're listening to this podcast. And it's free to subscribe.
Yes.
It's free to follow us, just not to our fucking houses.
No.
Okay? So hit the follow and the subscribe button. It should be located right where your life vest is. Make sure that you put your mask on yourself. Know that oxygen is flowing before supplying a mask to the person next to you. We'll be right back. Give us
What's up, cool kids? This is Tasha here with my trusty sidekick, Journey the Horror Dog, who will inevitably whine in the background of every single episode of our new podcast, The Ghoulish Gallery. I'm just here to give you an idea what's coming up. Each week, I'm going to have a guest on to give us the scoop on their local lore, urban legends, cryptids or monsters, creepy places, all that good stuff that we love. Fortunately for all of us, there are a whole lot of badass horror people out there willing to educate us on the spooks and other things lurking in the dark in their neck of the woods. If you're interested in being a guest, hit me up on Twitter at TMR_8706 or Ghoulish Gal Pod. It's going to be Ghoulish, GALPOD. I'll be happy to put you on the list. Hit me up.
Now, just as a reminder, this is part of the You Run Podcast Network, where you can find other awesome and amazing podcasts just like this. And also, Ghoulish Gallery is currently on a season break and will return within due time. Make sure you check out her other episodes on Spotify, Apple, and all other sorts of streaming platforms.
That's like, well, for us, again, 5 seconds. For you, a couple minutes. See you soon. And on that note,
Do you have any haunted locations you want to redo for the first time?
I would wholeheartedly love to redo my 30th birthday trip in New Orleans.
Oh,
Like not because of the trip itself, but like the first time. Met a friend named Jessie or Jess. We still chat. She lives in Vegas. She's an icon. I love her. That was the night that we really did see a ghost.
oh, where?
It was in New Orleans. We did like a random haunted tour. We were in, of course, the French Quarter, because where else would you go? McLeod ends up, and for those of you who don't know, McLeod is my beautiful, sexy Mexican husband. Oh.
That's sex.
And he took this picture off of his fucking Samsung. Try texting him and it's green. Ugh. He took a picture and you could clearly see 2 red eyes in the outline of a head. And I'm like, I'm not a mathematician, but something doesn't add up to this being a friendly thing.
Maybe it's the red eyes.
So maybe, and it's not the flight, baby. It's not the flight. I straight up was like, he showed it to me because he took the picture. The picture was like a zoom out kind of thing. It was like a wide shot.
Okay.
Using my camera knowledge. He takes this picture. It's of a wide shot. And then he's like zooming in to see, because he sees a lot of orbs and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, it could be like light refractors.
And dust and bugs. And
you got bugs, tax evasions, like different things. And
Diddy's oil floating
He,
through the air.
I don't, I wasn't there. I was, but not for that. For legal purposes, that is a
That's a
joke.
joke.
Hey now, and he zooms in on this one window, and I was like, McLeod, Habibi, what the fuck is that?
Explain this.
Explained it right here. America, I am confusion. How is this Arkansas? But this is Arkansas. Like, literally that moment of my life. He zooms in on this one window, and I'm like, we're still standing where we're standing. Zooms in on the window. You can see two eyes, two red eyes. You can see the outline of a head. And we remove the camera. We're like, okay, let's like see. Let's just like look with our own God-given eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, McLeod, we're probably at most 25 feet away from that window. Because when you do things from like a zoom out, it kind of like it creates like tension in the picture. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I can see if I look, I can see nothing is there in real life. And there's no other light coming in. There's no red light near this area. It is this area that he took a picture in. It is pitch black, actually. We had to like count the buildings and the windows. I'm like, okay, this is like 7 windows in this picture. Let's count 7 windows. I was like, that's impossible. McLeod, it is a pitch in real life. It is a pitch black corner. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. Your phone, I mean, maybe could have picked up light and fucking demon cropped 2 red eyeballs. And then on top of that, the night didn't end there. The night didn't. So I decided, I was like, you know what, 30th birthday, let's do it. We sat in front. Hey, you've been in New Orleans, have you?
Every trip I've planned, it's been canceled due to something. One year it was COVID. One year it was a hurricane.
I went during COVID.
1 year was a hurricane. And then another year was our vehicle. Because we were going to drive.
You were just not meant to go to New Orleans.
That's what I said.
We're going to change that. I know we're supposed to go next month, but my check engine light stays on. You know what I mean?
Same. What is that? That's just another light. Oh, it's giving me.
That's decoration, right? Bitch. The fuck. I don't know. I've had relationships that were not as off again, on again as my check engine light in my car. Like, so we go in front of this church where they did like guillotined beheadings of people they presume to be witches, and this is like in the town square of the French Quarter. You cannot miss this church. You have to physically remove the church in order to miss it.
That's wild. And
so I was like, you know what? I'm feeling real spiritual. I'm really feeling real spooky.
I'm feeling real froggy tonight.
I love spooky stuff. So I decided, with all 2 of my brain cells fighting for 3rd place that night, that I would get a tarot card reading in front of a church where they've done guillotined beheadings. None other than by this beautiful I forget her name. Raven. I think it literally was Raven. And she charged like maybe $25, but I was talking to her for like 30 minutes. Nice. Because we were just in conversation, and I was telling her about like, you know, the things that I wanted to like accomplish in my life, and we started crying. Like we both started crying together, and like I had just lost my grandmother. You know, I had like not just, but like, you know, yeah. It's been it was coming up on 2 years of her passing, and I just felt so lost in the world, and I was like, some rando in front of a church where they've killed thousands and countless of innocent lives, I'm sure. She and I are crying together after a ghost tour where my husband probably took a photo of a demon. And then after that, the friend that we made, because she was kind of like in our vicinity. It was a group of like 12 people, but this girl, Jess, was in our vicinity, probably like she was within no more than probably 5 to 6 feet away from us at all times. And we just gravitated to her.
Yeah.
Come to find out, she has ties to a very known family across the world who run a particular hotel chain.
Oh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm gonna let you figure it out, but what's another word for 1,000 pounds?
A ton.
A ton?
Yeah. Oh.
What's another way to say mound?
Oh, got it.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. That's actually where I first went to. I was like, that's gonna be the only one.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. France is great this time of year, if you know what I mean. So she ends up taking us to dinner.
Ooh.
Like, cause it literally turned midnight. It like then became my birthday. Ended up going to like a really nice fancy fucking dinner. Homegirl pays for it. I wasn't expecting her to do it.
Wow.
The next day, she's still in town. The next day, she's like, "Oh, it's your birthday." Like, she safety pins $1 on my shirt, and I was like, "What the fuck does that mean?" I made like $20 that day.
Huh.
And that is also the same trip that I found this one of a kind crown in this like boutique shop in New Orleans. And it's the same crown that I wore on my wedding day.
Very nice.
2 years later. So yeah, the next time you guys think that ghost tours don't do anything, you're fucking wrong.
Right? Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's a long-winded way of saying tarot ghost tours.
Tarot ghost tours.
New friends, wedding prep, oh my.
Would you do your Ouija board experience again for the first time?
Knowing what I know now?
Yeah. No.
I wish I never got into it. I was in high school when that shit started.
Yeah.
I was in high school. My friend Michelle. Mm-hmm. I know all these names. I'm like giving these people the fuck. You know how many Michelles there are in the fucking world? One of them was a first lady. Come on, like, and not her. Like Obama's and I, we don't do that. We don't. I like my children not drained of adrenochrome. But
allegedly,
she allegedly for legal purposes is a jerk. She and I were at her house and she was like, "Hey, do you want to like play a board game?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I don't like me still in high school playing with this like now college kid, or no, maybe we were both in the same math class in community college. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
And I was like, "Yeah, she's really cool. She's so cool. She's like she's a chill girl. She's like so cool." And she brings out a fucking Ouija board. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" She's like, "Oh, you've never done a Ouija board?" I'm like, "No, bitch, I'm a refugee."
I don't play with dangerous items.
Honey, I had to ration bread. Like, come on. So I was like, "How many people do we need?" She's like, "Typically 3." And I'm like, "Okay, well, if my math serves me correctly, there's 2 of us." There was another girl that she was friends with who went into cam boy and cam girl porn recruitment.
Oh.
There's a whole life I lived in my 20s that not a lot of people know about. I was never in porn,
but knew plenty.
But knew plenty of people who made money off of doing that Gawk 3000. So she brings out this fucking Ouija board and I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" She's like, "You can like talk to the dead." And I was like, "Okay." She goes, "Here." I think at that night there was like a group of 4 of us, and like she stepped away and she asked a question. She's like, "Okay, if this is really my grandmother, what is the name of my childhood toy?" And like, who the fuck would know this?
Right.
The Ouija board spells it out. I was like, "Oh my god, you can talk to the dead. You can text them." And
it doesn't take nearly as long.
It doesn't. And I was like, sometimes I would be like, "Grandma, like, what's the recipe for?" And like, "How long do I cook the baklava for, Grams?" Girl.
Am I using the right seasoning blend?
Girl. So I decided, like, we hung out, and every time we hung out, we did like Ouija boards. And then for my 30th birthday,
Here you go.
right before New Orleans, sitting in that closet right over there, a Ouija board.
A Ouija board. That's so fantastic, because in our next episode, I'll be covering the history on the Ouija.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know.
That is. Are there I wanna head into my last one, but I want to give you an opportunity. Do you have any final things you can think of that would be an excellent first time experience for you?
Oh, watching Scream for the first time.
Wes Craven's first?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more.
I would watch it for the first time again. I don't even remember. I would think I was between junior high to high school. And again, you know, I didn't get to go see it in theaters, so it's like I got to watch it at home. Yeah. I just remember loving that movie so much. Like, me sitting there going, yeah, teenagers would do this dumb shit. Like, it would be two teenage boys doing this dumb shit. But then again, that's also where I like really liked Matthew Lillard. That she's all that, all the things. And then 13 Ghosts came after, and I was like, yes. That movie. I would, if I could experience that movie for the first time over and over again. If I could
experience 13 Ghosts for the first time, I would literally, I'm like,
yep.
Stephen Hawking apparently has a time machine. I would suck the skin off his dick to try that shit. Like,
such a fantastic movie. And then if you owned the DVD, that's the other part. Owning the DVD of some of these movies.
Own the physical media.
Owning it. Like, I still have it, and I have the version where you can, like, it's the after and everything, where it goes through each more detailed story of each of the Zodiacs and how they became that Zodiac, how he picked them. I was like, this is fantastic. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Own your physical media, because when you buy something off of like PlayStation, you're just owning the rights to it, and they can take those away, and they can also edit or manipulate the movie.
Yeah.
So own your physical media. It's kind of like that thing with Wizard of Oz when they did the remaster. They took away the munchkin that was like hangy wangy, you know.
Also, if like I got lucky, Target was selling it. They sold the UK and the US version of Rocky Horror Picture Show, so I have both.
They're not doing. I'm not seeing a lot of like collector's edition director's cuts anymore. I was like,
they put them on streaming services.
I'm like, is this really the director's cut, or is this the Blake Lively version? Like, do you know what I
mean? More to come.
More to listen. Much like a sexually frustrated 21-year-old man, more to come, honey. Like,
I always wonder if I can turn any of these lines into like magnets for people, and then I'm like, I don't know if I'd win that.
You probably can't. You probably can't. Oh my god, that's crazy. Oh, if I laugh any harder, I'm gonna get a cramp in my toe.
Oh no. Okay, now tell me yours.
Well, I think we already know what this. I've prefaced it. I have championed this movie since I saw it in a trailer format.
Yes.
I was very confused. And if for those of you who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, bonjour. Welcome to The Substance, written and directed by Coralie Farge, a female director who is finally getting her flowers after she did what Revenge, it was in what 2016, 2018 or something like that.
I liked that movie. That was a good one.
I loved Revenge.
Oh yeah.
Coralie has her ability to set up a fucking shot. God. I remember readjusted my chair. I'm gonna look off into the distance. I remember being a young lad in October of 2024.
Go, Jesus.
Just the preface. I remember going into this movie thinking, I don't know what the fuck this is about. I remember watching the trailer. The trailer gave nothing away.
Nothing away. Which I appreciate.
More movies need to do that. Hello, the Warner Brothers Studios, who decided to release the second trailer of Companion and literally give the movie away in the second fucking trailer when we found out that Iris was a sex bot, you bitches.
A24, Bloomhouse was notorious.
Oh, Bloomhouse was like, you guys, do you want to see Imaginary? Here's a 2-minute version of it.
Okay, back to your.
And that is
back to your.
No. I was also going to say the one movie that did really well with the trailer was Heretic. They didn't give too much away.
No.
Okay, so I got a press screening for it because I was like, my rep had reached out. She's like, "Do you want to see this movie called The Substance? Like, not a lot of people know about it." And it was like literally, it was like less than 20 people in this theater.
Wow.
Less than 20 fucking people in this theater. They're like, "Oh, we didn't get a lot of promotion for it." It's like, I'll go see it.
Yeah.
I'll go see it, hands down. The marketing for it was, you know how like you go to theaters and sometimes they have those like different like posters set up or the cardboard things. So the setup for The Substance was the bathroom.
Oh.
Where like you get to like look into a mirror, you get to stand there with like the activator and like take a picture. And I had no idea what the bathroom setup was about until the movie started. I remember thinking, wow, what the fuck am I going to do in the theater for 2.5 hours? The movie's 2 hours and 20 minutes long.
Damn.
It's a long movie.
That's a long.
Watching it.
Didn't feel like it.
Watching it for the first time felt like 15 minutes.
Jeez. I love that.
When I tell you, I was like, normally I like turn to my friend and I'm like, oh my God, that was such a good part. I was GLUED, like glued. You couldn't, honey, fucking like the lizard people who run the shadow government could have come up from under the earth.
The aliens could have came
like,
down, abducted the other 19 people.
I would have been like, ayo. I would have been like, shut the fuck up. I still got an hour and a half left.
You're ruining the shot.
You're ruining my fucking experience.
Right?
The way it started, the way the movie had so many layers, the way I was like, this is the best fucking movie. Like, oh, and then everyone was like, well, just wait for Nosferatu to come out. I'm like, I'm sorry. I know I work with Focus Features and I want to work with them again, but like, Nosferatu is great. The Substance is an original idea.
Yes.
We've seen movies about like horny vampires
all the time.
Twilight, like
Interview with a Vampire.
The 700 movies they put out for Twilight. The Diary of a Vampire, True Blood.
Yeah.
Hello, anyone? Hi.
Interview with a Vampire series.
Yeah, baby. So all of this to say that if I can truly go back and see this movie again for the first time, like omit it from memory, still keep the poster, still keep the DVD. I would love to do that. The Substance is, and I will talk about this movie probably how many more days I got left? Probably for the next 48 years that I'm going to be on this earth.
How many days do I have left? 48 years. That's very...
Probably for the next 48, 50 years I'm going to be on this planet.
Right.
Like, this was, it was such an experience, from the script, which was perfect, from the casting, which was perfect. Demi Moore in a movie again. And mind you, I'm big on, cut out that yawn. I'm big on movies that kind of like tell you like the champion story that it took to make, because originally it was going to be released by Sony. The movie took $17 million to make, and the practical effects, like the majority of the film is practical effects. Like I want to say like 90% of the film is practical effects, with like some elements of CGI here and there.
Right.
Coralie did an amazing job. The crew, the cinematographer, costume, hair, and makeup, phenomenal job. Please stop coughing. This is serious.
That was my first cough.
Ever in my life.
No.
On the show.
Just today.
I was like,
just today.
On the show. Just but like, I envy people who are going to go see The Substance the first time.
I'll let you know.
I want to watch it with you. I would watch you watching the movie. I would be like, What do you think about it? Do you like this part?
Please.
Or when those people try to like hide speakers and they play that like, I want to play with you.
Oh no.
If I
No.
y'all do that shit to me, we're burning the house down.
Ooh,
Nice knowing y'all.
buddy.
But yeah, The Substance, absolutely amazing. I would love to see that movie for the first time again. Hands down, one of the I actually ended up seeing it. I saw it on a Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up getting tickets again to take a couple of other friends that Saturday. I was like, I'm seeing this again.
You're like, I'm going to see it as many times as possible.
As many times as possible. And then I watched it. I think I've seen it a total of 4 times now.
Okay.
And then when we do another game night, I'll probably put it on in the background. It's
Hush, everybody, this is a good
watch.
spot.
It's just so easy to watch because I'm like, I know what happens.
Mm-hmm. You know when the good parts are happening.
Movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good parts are start to finish. There's no dull moment in this movie. Not one singular dull moment. I'm like, how the fuck did they do this? And then I watched some of the special features, and that's what made me fall in love with Coralie even more because she was so intentional about it. She likes to do multiple takes. There's this one scene where Demi Moore is getting ready for a date, and then she like puts her lipstick on, and then she's like smearing the blood. She's like, fuck this in my life. And she did that like umpteen times. Her lips were raw by the end of it.
Ooh.
And then like how intentional Coralie was with like, hey, when we take off the prosthetics, like let's make sure to not rip anything so we don't have to waste more. She actually ended up saving money because of the way that she thought about everything.
Very nice.
And it took like 2 months to film. And then Coralie was like, nah, fuck it. Like all the close-ups that I'm doing with like the things going into like the needle going into the arm and stuff like that, I'll do that. Like that'll be my arm. That'll be so we can get you guys the fuck out of here.
Very cool.
I was like,
damn,
that is a talented director.
Yeah.
What the fuck are y'all sleeping on? Like this woman is artistically intelligent, financially conscientious, and just has fun on her set.
Mm-hmm.
If Coralie does not win Best Direction for The Substance, whoever you pray to, do it twice.
Do it twice.
So yeah, that is my take on if we could do things the first time. Like, I think it's a fun little nostalgic thing to go back on and think like, okay, what would I want to experience for my first time?
Right. I like that.
Because we'll never get it again.
No. I hope our audience shares them. Please do.
Yeah, if you have your firsts, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it would be so fun to just understand like what your thoughts are on your first time experiencing something that was good. While you're sending us stuff, make sure to purchase the merch. And we are actually at the halfway point. I didn't mention this earlier. We're at the halfway point of season 2, part 1.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're interested in doing advertisement work with Paranormal Misfits Podcast, please make sure to check the show notes and send me an email.
Mm-hmm.
As far as all that goes, 5-star ratings, make sure to follow us, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's free. Before we wrap, Chrissy, any shout outs?
I want to shout out Felicia from the Paranormal Lovers because she made me the shirt.
I saw this shirt. It looks amazing.
She made it. She did the pressing. She did the dyeing and stuff. It was great. I just got it like earlier this week. And then she sent me all these fun little like pictures and stuff. Like
I saw that.
Like she sent me pictures of cats like with like the little tiny hands and stuff as stickers. And I'm like, this is fantastic. I'm now bombarding everybody.
Help, my pussy's going crazy.
Help. But no, yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I love that.
How about you?
I want to actually want to shout out a couple of people. This is going to be a little lengthy, but I want to shout out my friend Seth Fox.
He's doing great.
I just adore. Great things from Seth. Love him so much. I want to also shout out my friends over at Screenbox and Cineverse for our new partnership.
Very cool.
I want to shout out the Carpel group for our new partnership. And I also just want to give huge thanks to God, my husband, my sister, and my friends of the Maggiore family for just all of their support with my content creation and like everything. So happy to be here, so thrilled to be alive, so thrilled to be doing things, and just it's fun to reminisce about doing things the first time.
Right?
Yeah. One thing I definitely don't want to go back and do the first time was like kind of anal or something. I don't know. But well, as a man I only get one option. But no wonder people don't want to sponsor with us. It's me.
It's me. I'm the problem.
The problem. Okay. Friends, we are gonna head the fuck out. We're gonna make like a little baby and head out. And then we'll see you at the next one where we're gonna be talking about Ouija
history.
Oh.
The history of it.
Oh.
And then how it inspired The Exorcist.
Okay, well, we will see you next week for that. Folks, we know you don't want to leave. I know. Oh, God, stop it. I know I can already hear you. Ew. I know you don't want to leave. But since you have to go, you might as well creep out.
Bye.